Hey guys, just hopping on here really quick. Just wanted to talk to you about something that I think is really important, and that's the topic of inspections. In a recent Facebook poll, I asked all of you, do you think that a buyer doing inspections on a property that they're purchasing is worth the money? 95% of you said yes, and 5% of you said no. So the answer to that question is a big, fat, emphatic yes. There are certain times that it doesn't make sense to have an inspection. However, I'd say 99.9% of the times, it does make sense to do it. And we're not going to talk about those times that it doesn't make sense because I don't want to get sued. And you should really have those conversations with your realtor or the professionals that you're using when you're purchasing those properties at those times. So there really is 4 different reasons why that you should use an inspector when purchasing a property. We'll just go through them here really quickly. Reason number 1 is that it is the buyer's responsibility to understand and know what they are purchasing. So the seller, in most cases, does need to disclose any information that they know about the house. So they need to disclose any upgrades that they've done, any defects with the house that they know about, anything that about the neighborhood that the buyer would need to know, or anything about the property that the buyer would not be able to see with their own 2 eyes. Of course, we know that there are situations where that doesn't happen. Maybe the seller's never lived at the property, it's an income property, it could be an estate sale, it could be a bank foreclosure, and then there is also the small situation where sometimes people do lie. Either way, it's just important to know that if you're buying a property, it is your responsibility to do the homework on it. Reason number 2 of why you should use an inspector is because an inspector is going to give you third party impartial information about that house. So when you do an inspection, the way that the clause is written in New Brunswick is that you can have anybody that you like at your expense do it. So you can't have your Uncle Bob do it, your cousin who works at Home Depot or Home Hardware. However, having somebody third party with no interest gather information about the property, so any defects, any problems with the property, is very valuable. They don't care if you buy the property. They're not a salesperson or a family member giving you advice. It's just a person who is qualified to give you information, giving you impartial information so that you can make decisions that are the best for you. The third reason is that most inspectors do hold liability insurance. So if something is broken, stolen, or somebody is hurt at the property, their insurance will cover that. If your Uncle Bob, who works at Home Hardware, goes there and falls off of the roof, there could be a lot of liability in that. So it's just great to have somebody who has the insurance so that you don't have to worry about any of those things happening coming through the property. Reason number 4, which could actually be really important, is that most inspectors are credible. So if you're trying to renegotiate because of a problem, having a credible inspector tell you what the problem is going to help you a lot more for negotiating, more than your Uncle Bob or your cousin who works at Home Hardware telling you what's wrong with the property. Sellers and sellers agents are going to understand who is presenting those problems and will question their capability in order to do it. So what are the characteristics of a good inspector? Number 1, they should have a organized way of finding things out, so checklists and reports. Number 2, they should be insured so that there's no liability to you. Number 3, they should be really good presenters, so not making mountains out of molehills and being able to elaborate on problems properly. And number 4, they should be really good at follow-up and asking questions. A lot of times what happens is people don't understand how important things are or how unimportant things are, but if you have a good inspector that you can follow up with a day or 2 afterwards, 6 months after you buy the property, to ask questions to, that could be really valuable. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I'd really like you to comment your thoughts. If there's any other benefits or drawbacks to using an inspector, I'd really love to hear your opinions. Thank you so much.